Gaussian number 75, sort colors, and it gives us an integer array nums. It has 0, 1, 2. And then let's sort them in place to be 0 at the first part, 1 at the second part, and 2 on the third part. For this question, of course, because there are only 3 types of value, we can use O1 space by, for example, counting sort, how many zeros, how many is ones, and how many twos. And also in the end, we just um, based on these counts to rewrite the nums. Or we can also use quick select to part. But the other way, it will have more than one pass. To have one pass, right? We know for the quick select, there is another way, is use one pointer. For this one, we can also use actually for quick select, we have 2 pointers method, right? And the 2 pointers you can have from in the same direction or in the opposite towards direction, two way to write. And for this one, we can have 3 pointers, and one pointer is the 0 pointer, which means this is the last index of 0. Let's set this one as -1, right? N equals nums dot length. And we can have also 2 pointer, which is n. So what we do is that for int I equals to 0, I smaller than n, I plus plus, right? So we are do if nums I equals to 0, then we're going to need to swap nums. And we need to have z pointer increase by 1 in I, right? And else, if nums I equals 2, then we need to swap nums. And we should decrease the pointer in I. Here, we need to decrease the I. The reason is that we know, for example, this kind of pointers, right? So this will be 0, 0, 0. And for example, to be some kind of zeros here, right? And the second part is 1, right? And the third part, this part is something we didn't sort yet. And the third part, and then the fourth part is sorted two, right? So this will be the 0.2. And this will be the 2 pointer, right? So the thing is that if we see a number, for example, this is our I, right? If our I go to the next step, go to here, right? If we find a 0, then we have this point, z pointer move 1, right? To have one more space. And we have this kind of I. This if this is 0, right? So what we do is that we are going to have this 0 here, and the 1 is here, right? So it become this. So when we'll find that doing like this, right, we'll always have this kind of one um, being swapped from the plus plus 0 pointer to i's place, right? So it will always be one. So we don't need to have I to decrease any index. But on the other side, uh, so if we have nums I equals 2, for example, this one is 2, then we decrease this kind of um, 2 pointer here, right? But here you see, this part is not sorted yet. So this kind of we decrease this one. This can be 0, can be 1 or 2, right? This number can be 0 or 1 or 2. Not like a 0 pointer. If it increase, it will always be 1. But 2 pointer, because this part is not sorted, so it can be any number, right? So when we switch back at the ith place, it can also be 0, 1, or 2, right? And we have two swaps here, right? So in this case, we'll see this I, we need to reprocess it to check whether it is 0 or 1 or 2, right? So that means the reason is that when we decrease the 2 pointer by one part, this part is not sorted yet. But if we increase 0 point by 1, this one is always 1, right? So we don't need to process. So here there is no I minus minus. Here there is I minus minus, right? So this will be the tricky part for this code. And private wide swap int nums int I int j, uh, we'll add and I smaller than 2 pointer, right? So this will be the code for one pass solution. And Python code will be very similar. We are going to have n equals length nums, and we'll have 0 pointer initially and a 2 pointer, right? This one I set as -1 and n, right? So we'll see while I is I set I equals 0, while I is smaller than n, and I smaller than, actually we can write while I smaller than 2 pointer, right? If nums I equals 0, we have 0 pointer to the plus equal to 1, and nums 3 pointer nums I equals nums I, and nums 3 pointer and we'll say else if uh, if nums I equals 2, then we'll have 2 pointer decreased by 1, right? And also nums 2 pointer nums I equals nums I nums 2 pointer. And we should also have I should decrease by one, right? And here increase the index. This is like similar to the for loop. Okay. And for this Java code, right? And we don't need I smaller than n two conditions. We just need to have I smaller than two pointer, right?